Welcome back. This is Mini D throwing it down, and today we're going to talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and what to expect for the 2022 NFL season. Alright, first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to you about the 2021 season for Jacksonville because it was not good. And people might say it got better for this upcoming year, but I'm not seeing it that way. The games they won last season were against Miami. They beat the Bills 9-6, remember that, and then they beat the Colts in the final game. Let's just take it who they lost to. They lost to the Falcons. They lost to the Texans twice. They lost to the Jets. They lost to the Seahawks. There are a lot of teams that they probably should have beat, could have beat. Urban Meyer may have had something to do with that, but halfway through the season, they still only won 2 games maybe after he left. Let's look at their 2022 NFL season. Their games include, it looks like the AFC West and the NFC East. Let's go over winnable games for the Texans. I'll even throw in the Jaguars. I'm even going to throw in the Titans too, because the Titans, although people might think they're a good team, they still retain their core. I have high hopes for their defense specifically because their defense, it only got better with their draft picks and the additions and signings they made in the offseason. And they also didn't lose anybody. Very underrated defense last year. Winnable games for the Jaguars are the Texans twice, the Jets, the Lions, and the Giants. So that's about 5 winnable games for the Jaguars. And those aren't gimmies either. The Jets got a lot better. The Texans, they're a hard team. I haven't really thought about the Texans a lot, but the Titans are still going to be a solid fundamental team running Derrick Henry. They have a new receiving core, better than last year. If you want to hear me talk about that, you'll have to wait until I talk about the Titans in upcoming videos. I'm going to try and do videos about each team in the NFL, maybe one every couple days. Facing the AFC West is not a good look for Jacksonville. Their projected win total is 6.5 by sports books, and I don't see them getting there. Teams that they could beat include Washington, the Cowboys, maybe. I don't see them beating the Colts, the NFC West teams. I don't see them beating the Baltimore Ravens. I don't see them beating the Eagles. There's a lot of tough games. It's about 7 games that Jacksonville might even have a chance to win. Let's go on to who Jacksonville added and got rid of / cut. So their big cut was Miles Jack, who was one of the most important defenders on Jacksonville's team. Now they did get 2 linebackers, one in the draft and one in free agency, to tighten up that linebacking core, but this defense was not good last year. And the one thing about Jacksonville is their points per game is also skewed because, a lot of their points, they weren't scored in the first quarter or first half. They were scored at the end of the games. Especially, I vividly remember the first game against the Texans where they had 2 touchdowns. They were down by over 20 points against the Texans in the first game, and they came back where they scored 1 or 2 touchdowns in the final quarter, and it really skews how many points they had or they accumulated throughout the year. Key additions they had are they got 2 offensive linemen, one Brendan Sharif, and they didn't get another offensive lineman. They actually just re-signed their left tackle, and I believe they re-signed another player. They acquired a center in the draft, and then obviously in the draft, they acquired the first pick of Trayvon Walker, who's a great linebacker. But after that and the linebacker, Devin Lloyd, they picked up, really they didn't do much. The additions of Christian Kirk and Zay Jones and Evan Ingram, can't forget Evan Ingram, but they aren't going to cut it as top playmakers. So Marvin Jones is still on the team, which is pretty important, but they lost DJ Chark, they lost Laquan Treadwell. They just lost DJ Chark. They are getting back Travis Etienne as well. They're one of the first round picks from last year. So I don't believe that they have any single great wide receiver talent, but the combination of them is definitely going to help Trevor Lawrence. He's going to have more than one or two options. They also still have Laviska Shenault. So they have names. They have people that regular football watchers will know, but it's nobody that is special or has any great talent. My final win total for the team, I see them getting around 4 wins. There's a lot of teams that got substantially better through the draft and through free agency, and there's a lot of good teams that kind of maintained their status. And so, especially in the AFC, there's a lot of teams that can compete this year for the Super Bowl, for the playoffs. Jacksonville is not one of those. Trevor Lawrence, he's still understanding the league. You know, his offensive line got better too, so that should help him as well. They should play closer games, but their wins may not be reflective of how much they improved. And teams that they played last year that they struggled against, they got better too. Jacksonville's season this year might not be great, just as a heads up. So that's my Jacksonville recap. Thank you for watching. Peace.